Selling my daughter for 100 won. Chapter 5. We are the future.
Our parting. Although for a while we would promise, upon leaving home, I'll be off, I'll return. Parting from relatives, leaving your hometown, crossing the border, we can no longer even say reluctant goodbyes. This is because we did not believe in safe escape from the north. We may never meet again. When we think of their faces, we can only cry alone. Even those tears must be hidden. In this land, where it is forbidden to live, there is not even the right to part. Even if late, surely to return, after all the waiting and worrying, we spew forth our anger. Even knowing the boiling hatred, we cannot breathe a word about the parting. Although the heart of the person sending them off hurts more than that of those who leave, even that pain cannot be shared. The criminals of parting that we are. We said nothing of our leaving. That was our parting. We could not promise to meet again. Our flesh and blood was torn apart. That is why our separation is still now tears without parting. In the north still remains our half that could not escape. Crossing Dumangang River. Frozen solid like a rock, the Dumangang River border. A few steps to run, a few seconds to cross. Was it merely this that stopped us from achieving, in our lifetime, the distance to freedom, the time to liberation? We have not forsaken our motherland. We think of our hometown, where we were born and raised. We think of our relatives who share our tears. We think of the village people with fond memories, faint reminiscences that have slipped away. We have not forsaken our motherland. No freedom, human rights taken away. There is only one person among all the poverty-stricken that is human. Our motherland has forsaken us. Woorimal, our language. Woorimal begging in foreign countries. Imagine this. People reaching out to others passing by. Imagine this. Being showered with insinuations of other languages. Woorimal begging. Imagine this. Being sold like a slave for a paltry sum of money. Imagine this. Search for Woorimal. The military dogs searched the mountains. The pleading Woorimal handcuffed, imprisoned in a detention camp. Imagine this. Crossing the river and facing once more the muzzle of a gun being sent away. Imagine this. The embassy of the Republic of Korea, even with the same lettering, even with the same language, to Woorimal, screaming for help. Those of other countries come leaping out, arms twisted, before the watching world, loaded onto a truck and taken away. Imagine this. The screams of the people being taken away. Imagine this. Now also in other countries, Woorimal is being suppressed by other languages, wandering, being despised, being subjected to every kind of abuse. In other words, that is Woorimal. People of the South, if this was the language of your country, imagine this.
Upon seeing the flag of South Korea. Upon seeing the flag of South Korea, we did not know of the flag of South Korea, but we threw our bodies at the base and crumbled in tears. Upon seeing the flag of South Korea, we had never seen the country, but we shouted, "Our motherland," and cursed the republic we had left behind. Upon seeing the flag of South Korea, we had never heard the national anthem, but that sound trailing on the wind filled us with the feeling that from now we are citizens of this country. Upon seeing the flag of South Korea, we knew nothing of freedom and democracy. But when we came to know the meaning of the pure whiteness of the flag, as long as we had our voices, we shouted, "Korea forever." Residency Registration Certificate Number. When I received my certificate of residency registration, I was very surprised. Within the certificate number was my birth date. When born, a birth certificate number. When becoming an adult, a citizen certificate number. When joining a political party, a party member number. In North Korea, there were many of my numbers, but there were none with my birth date, my existence. They were the numbers of the order of the people, the order of the slaves. So I laughed quietly on this day, when I received my residency registration certificate of the Republic of South Korea. On this day, when I learned my residency registration certificate number, I was at last born as a human being, my unquestionable birthday. Coffee price. For me, eating a meal is enough. But my colleagues took out their wallets again. They say they want a cup of coffee. 10,000 won. With just that amount of money in North Korea, one could buy several kilograms of rice. With only that amount of rice, several lives would be saved. My colleagues encouraged me to have a cup, but I could not bring myself to drink it. When I think of the rice in North Korea, I starved myself of coffee.
Arirang. Arirang, arirang, arario. crossing over Arirang Pass. This folk song is hummed, crossing the Arirang Pass in the southern village, heading for warm Gangnam. The song is sad even when sung in the northern villages. Without going 30 kilometers, my feet hurt. As long as time goes by, the distance grows between the north and south. When will we become people of Arirang? Arirang, Arirang, Arario, crossing over Arirang Pass.
March 12th. Today is the 12th of March, my father's birthday. Holding up a cup to toast him, I quietly weep. March is here, but the 12th is in the north. Dreaming a wishful dream. At one time, I picked up something rotten from the side of the road and ate it. During Chuseok, at my father's graveyard, I embraced the dug-up dirt from his grave. Just remembering life in North Korea makes my hair stand on end. Being beaten by soldiers, being captured after escaping. Even in our dreams, ill-fated people that we were. Upon becoming citizens of the Republic of South Korea, even after several years of being alive, even after several years have gone by, we are split within ourselves, between consciousness and dreams. When we dream, they are only nightmares. North Korea disappears. Seoul is the reality. Seoul is the dream. When will it come, that day?
Half a century gone by. When this land separated, we were separated because of this land. It's been half a century. It has been a weary half-century. Our anguish begins from now. What we have only heard talked about, the tragedy of a separated motherland. From our pain, it begins again. Salt. If it weren't for salt, there wouldn't be any flavor in this world. Sweetness, tartness, bitterness exist because of the flavor of salt. Because it comes from drying seawater, salt can dissolve iron. When covering something with it, it also has the virtue of preventing decay. Let us live like that salt. Salt teaches us that, even if one grain is licked, how salty is the ocean still. The hated line. When I was 6, even with a child's thoughts, I knew about the scar on the map, scratched away with a fingernail, cutting the Korean peninsula in half. That black line. But how could we have predicted the kind of fate that would befall us? That hated line, scratched away that day, now separates relatives in the North and South. Escapees. Escapees to the future in which we have arrived first. We have brought forth the unity that should be to the present. The North is the past, the South is tomorrow. Eradicate that borderline, standing in a rage, the human 38 parallel.